Good morning, Rabbi Isai. We did this already. We're going to do it again. So I'll tell you what's happening. We recorded the whole first part of the shir, but it turns out we didn't record it. So I didn't want to make everybody crazy and do all the emails again. So I'm doing this after Shachris. It happens to be, I didn't say this during shir, so I'll tell you, I'll add one thing to this shir. This shir means a lot to me because the whole preparation happened during Yom Kippur. A couple of hours before Shachris and during the break, I had a little bit of a headache. I didn't have my caffeine in my body and I was having a headache, but I pushed through. So the shir means a lot. And with that, I want to read these emails. This is chaval. Maybe we'll be able to show some. We do have recordings from these cameras. They're not very good. There was a lot of laughing and geschmack going on during these emails, believe it or not. We're going to miss out on that. But maybe Yosef could patch it in or something, at least some parts. We have from Yaakov Lak. He says, Dear Reb Eli, a few things. I daven for your continued success. I renewed my monthly sponsorship. But I decided in Yom Kippur that I needed to get out of my comfort zone and take advantage of the best gula and start sponsoring Torah. Even more importantly, the achlus that MDY propagates. Thanks for everything you do. You're bringing Mashiach closer every day. Yaakov. P.S. I'm still not giving up. You need to teach me how to do a Masechta 20 times. I'm serious. What system do you use? Winter's coming. I'll have more free time. So, I don't really have a system. I tried different systems. The Chabur Shas. I fell off of that. Different tests that I used to take. But I just have a graph paper in the front of my Gemara, and I mark off every time I learn, every time there's a chazara, and that's like a little bit of an award, so to speak. After I finish, I get to mark it off, and I have a goal. I want to get to 20, 40. But it's not a system. Sorry, I don't have a real system. Rabbi said the pictures are starting to come in. This is from Simcha Firestone, a friend in a Talmud, he writes. The Sukkah pictures. And over here, we have another one from Borough Park. Don't be embarrassed. You can send in your pictures as well. And Avada, we have this Moyerdika advertisement. We had nothing to do with this. I just think it's creative and innovative, and therefore I am showing it. And here it goes.
Ryan, look at all the hop you created.
Hop? Oh, like CBN?
We have a special offer for all you special Daf Yomi learners. Buy any poster or mural on SuckerPosters.com and get a free Reb Eli or Reb Ceruli poster with code MDY or RAID.
You know what teeth means? Teeth is a Yiddish word for meaning, no, not hope.
Teeth and teeth, gewaldig. It's only for Americans. Okay, we are still trying to make up and mention all the people that became new sponsors with the monthly, mdymonthly.com, the sponsorships of the monthlies that we have from last year. I want to mention all those names. Be'ezer Hashem, all the people from last year and all the new people, all the sponsors will be in the new Mesechtas Sanhedrin, which we plan on giving out about at least 2,000 Gemaras. We plan on really pushing Sanhedrin, and we'll have all the names of these sponsors in the front. And if you pledged on Yom Kippur money for a neshama or stam pledge, it is a great place to give. We have over here $180 Kidnovations. I start off saying, Dr. Avi Factor, $220 a month. Kidnovations, no, I'm kidding, that was a joke. That was like one of the best jokes. He's loving this. What?
That was like, it's great.
It's always the funniest thing ever. So maybe they'll show that on the $180. I'm just going to mention a few names here, and these few names add up to over $7,000 a year. $180 Kivi Newsbound monthly, $101 Dan Rubinoff, $18 Dovid, my Waka, something like that, Majowka, $7.50 a month from Aaron Chaim David. It doesn't matter the amount. Every amount goes. $10 Avraham Engelson, $100 Jonathan, $36 Moshe Rosenberg, $36 Sam Berry, $101 Eli Dykman, And $45, Simcha and Miri Wenger. Let's see. This is an email. Maybe that's why it didn't record so well. It says at the end, please don't read this in public. Maybe you can after I have a few seconds on my belt. So what I did was I took out all the revealing information. He's a very accomplished person, this person. In his email, he says all the accomplishments and everything. So I'm just going to read the parts and you don't chap who it is. And it's not even the whole email because I think halfway through it started recording. I just gave a donation in your honor to MDY. Honestly, I never did the daf before. While I always wanted to and do learn with my chavurs of 35 years, we have finished a number of mesachos. I was just never able to pull off a consistent daily learning the way the daf requires to be successful. Right now, I'm looking at my phone. There are missiles flying into Haifa. So Klal Yisrael should be safe. This is not over. We're not in the best position, but we're in a very good position. And the Olam should remember we're in the middle of a war. I'm still not perfect, but at least you hear, where's my chavrusa? So I was saying yesterday that my, you hear this? I just thought it was interesting. The chazan, I don't think he realized. He said like this. He said, Avinu Makenu, Kalei, Dever, V'cherev. And then Shvi, he started crying when it came to Shvi. Mamish crying by Shvi. It's sad, but I think it didn't chap what Cherev means. He thought Cherev means like a sword, somebody chopping. Cherev means war. We're in the middle of a war. That's why we have a Shvi. You should have been crying, I think, in my opinion, you should have been crying a lot by the Cherev. But okay, honestly, after all that, I'm really not a learned person. Oh, I'm still not perfect, but at least I started Bava Basra and I have an interesting story. I've been in the Kiruv world for over 40 years. And then he goes on, I took that out. Honestly, after all that, I'm really not a learned person. Something you said totally struck me. When you're younger, you feel that you have decades in front of you to learn what you want to learn. Before you know it though, you wake up and you're in your 60s and you wonder what happened. That's why I'm so moved by Yashir. During the summer, I drive an hour to the campus and I'm always driving while holding two phones and doing work. Finally this summer I said enough. I need to do something to help myself. You hear people are always helping others. Help yourself. You kept coming up on my phone and it was a beautiful message from Hashem to watch this share on YouTube. Of course, it's not always the best idea to watch while driving, but I found myself pulling over to the side of the road when you put up your charts. I'm a visual learner, so I appreciate the effort it takes to bring the Gemara alive. Thank you for inspiring thousands people in a beautiful, humorous way. You're a real treasure to Klal Yisrael. Next time I come to Yisrael, I definitely plan on showing up to your daf, Gemar Toiv. P.S. Please don't read this in public. Maybe you can after I have a few seconds on my belt. I thought it was a nice email. There was a bunch of stuff that will give him away what he does. He's a very powerful person. So I took that part out and I read the rest. Hope he's Meichel me. The Koilo of the month sponsored by Binyomin Rosenfeld for Atzlacha in business. The Mesechta for safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnas HaChodesh. Leilui nishmas zchariah ben Moshe, Leilui nishmas zchariah ben Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh Binyomin Rosenfeld for the zchusim that come from supporting them at HaTorah. If somebody made a Yiskor donation, put it in the MDY monthly. It adds up. Baruch Hashem. There's a very nice amount of people that are doing, and it really helps. Parnas health and strength for Reb Eli. Yishar Koyach. Parnas Hayoim Shmuel Idler. Leilui nishmas Imi Morasi Pesia Bracha Reb Shmuel HaKohen on the 7th Yahrtzeit. I'm making a Siyum today on Mishnayos Seder Zeraim that I learned. The entire thing? Which one?
The recording didn't start.
For real? You're making a joke now. Okay. So what? From the beginning?
It started 30 seconds ago, so yeah.
No, I'll just do that later. I'll do it after Shir. I don't have to trouble the whole island to listen to it through again. How about this part? Did they get all the sponsors came in? Okay. We gotta do the Okay, we'll do that. But listen, do it like a mensch, like a. You know why? Because the Ruach HaKodesh, the others not supposed to know about my Ruach HaKodesh. That's why.
That's what it was.
Shloimi. No. That's what it is. We're gonna keep it here in the room. And that's it. It's your fault. All right, Rav Eli. Say like you mean it. If you don't want that, we won't do that. But then people are gonna get those emails. All right. You ready? Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Leilui nishmas Imi Morasi Pesia Bracha. Fire. So we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. We just recorded, I don't know, about 10 minutes, and it wasn't recording. So we're just going to start here from the top, from the Gemara. With Daf Kuf Yud, Amud Aleph. Maybe because the guy said I shouldn't read his email, and I read it anyway.
So many possibilities.
Who here believes I'm not going to read that email again while I re-record? Only one person.
No, he quickly changed his mind.
Yeah. Omar Rava. We're holding on Daf Kuf Yud, Amud Aleph, 4 lines down. Some of this is a little bit too late for a lot of us in this room, but maybe for your children. Before you marry a woman, first of all, you should check her out also. It's also important. I'm just thinking because we have a lot of Hasidim in the room. But maybe Hasidim check the brothers before they check the wife. I don't know how it works over there. We could ask them, how do you do it? You check the Achim, what do you check more? The wife or the brothers? No. And that was it. Before you knew about him, you didn't know about the wife. That's the way to do it. It says before in the Gemara. Hanoise Isha, you go with the Gemara. Check the wife. She's into Dovid Maguna, but not to see Midas and stuff like that. Midas, you look at the brother. No, I'm kidding. You have to check her brothers. I had the opportunity I found out where my wife's brother sat in the mirror. When I went to learn in the mirror, I made sure I sat like 2 benches in front of him, pretending I didn't know, and was steiging away the whole Seder. But I saw him. He's a huge masmid. I got to know him before I got engaged. He's a bemis. I checked him out. Today he's a Rosh Shiva. But it says over here, you got to check the brothers. I checked at least 1 out of 2 I checked. It happens to be that 2 of my sons are very similar to him. He was a wild guy back in the day. He learned in Skokie, in the Shiva. How do they call it? Shiva. But today he's Rosh Shiva, Baruch Hashem. Big masmid. The Sivasaran, go check it out. I think Noam's kid learns in that yeshiva now, and he has the Israeli part. Huh?
You're also a wild guy.
I still am, yeah. But a different type of wild, yeah. Says the Gemara, how do we know? Shenemar vayikach Aaron Elisheva bas Aminodov achois nachshon. Ari married Elisheva, the daughter of Aminodov, who happens to be the sister of Nachshon. Now, the problem is, we know from the pasuk Yehuda, Nachshon ben Aminodov. Here it says Mefurish in the pasuk that Nachshon is the son of Aminodov. So there's no need to tell us who the sons of Aminodov are. So why does it say that Elisheva is the sister of Aminodov? The Nachshon. Says the Gemara, Mimash Mishanem Bas Aminodov, Eini Yedea Shachois Nachshoni. Matam Loimar Achois Nachshon. Mikan Shanois Isha Tzorach Shivlik Ba'acheh. The pasuk is telling us that it's important to know who the brother is. We know who Nachshon is. What's Nachshon famous for? Jumping into the water. It's the Nachshon. It brings. I have to mention this. It's very important to mention things like this. We have a big Nachshon in MD. We have a bunch of Nachshons. One of the big ones is Peretz Chaim Levin. He's a successful business guy, and he took it upon himself. He goes, he's mevayish himself for Torah. Puts up a sign in his own kids' simcha. He'll stand in front of a grocery store for a few hours. He flew into Los Angeles just to help out. And he sat there for hours in front of the grocery store. Nachshon ben Aminodov. Other people followed his lead, like Shamshi. Yeah, normal people. Normal. Shamshi is normal. Very normal. But you have to be a Nachshon. You jump in for the right thing. So you got to check the brothers. Any idea? Tana, learn, Roiv Bonim, Doimim. Yeah, I got to stop here. Because somebody sent me this. Now, I just read it. He said, I want to give you nachas about your mishpacha. That's what he said. Your mishpacha of MDY. He said, somebody called him up, Erev, Yom Kippur, and said he gave out money, but he's Nebuch stuck with $500 that he didn't give out yet. And he has a condition. He wants to give it when the person that receives it doesn't know who he is and he doesn't know who they are. So he asked him if he could do him a big favor and dispose of his $500. The guy said, no problem. So he made a phone call. And he calls this guy, and the guy tells him, I just finished davening. It was very hard for me. The davening on Mincha, Erev Yom Kippur. I cried a lot. I have to make Yom Tov now. I'm missing $2,000. It just happens to tell us. He says, oh, that's why I called you. I have your $500 for you. But you know what? I'll send you the whole $2,000. And he made some phone calls. He gave the $500 also. Other people. He wanted to tell me how MDY got together to help a certain individual and what goes on behind the scenes. So Shkoyach for the Nachas report. So says the Gemara, most sons are similar, or your own children are going to be very similar to your wife's brothers. Why? Because they grow up in the same house. This is the genetic component. But the way they explain is that your wife and her brothers, they grew up in the same house. They have the same values, the same ashkafa, the same midas. Certain things bother them, certain things don't. You should know. So if you see your brother-in-law, your future brother-in-law, you should know that your sons didn't work out like that, Shlomi. Yeah? You don't have any children yet. Okay, we'll talk later. I mean later, like in a few years. Be'ezer Hashem. If he comes there.
It's a tough. He gave you a tough. Say amen. What? Stop. You just got married. Say amen.
Zadi Yimara, amen. Okay, now we're going back to Yonason.
9 months later.
Oh. It happens to be, I said yesterday, the Sefer Chassidim says that if you marry someone who has terrible brothers, they're bad guys, and you marry her, and then it turns out you yourself have bad kids, so Sefer Chassidim says you're going to get an aynish for that. How come you weren't careful? You should have been careful. You should have taken the Gemara's word seriously. But I heard this from the Stipler. I also heard from Rebbitzen Stefansky that today it's different. Today when people are exposed to the internet, the Stipler talks about newspapers. He says, today we have terrible newspapers that give people bad ideas. So there's a lot of outside influence. So that's why you have a lot of these kids that go off the derech, etc., etc. So it's not the same thing as, because you have all these shaylas. How can I marry a girl whose brothers are off the derech? He says, no, today it's different. When it comes from within, they have bad midas, they figure it out on their own, and they go off the derech. That's what the Gemara is talking about. When there's so much influence,
Someone else has two brothers, one good, one bad.
Yeah, there's a famous video.
מכאן למדנו, הנויסה אישו צורך לבדוק באחיה. מה בדיוק צריך לבדוק באחים שלה? נורמלי. נורמלי? איך בודקים אם בן אדם הוא נורמלי? אם הוא יודע ללמוד. עכשיו רציתי לשאול את הרב, מה קורה אם יש לה שתי אחים, אחד נורמלי ואחד לא נורמלי? מה לעשות? אז חצי האישה... זה אישה טובה, חצי אישה לא. אז לא להתחתן? לא לגשת לשידך? רק חצי. הרב יברך אותי.
Borsha Patrani. Get lost. Anyway, what were you saying?
You can love him. You took it all right.
Yeah. Okay. I guess there's exceptions. It's not a solid rule. But and what about anybody that married Rivka, who married Yitzchak? Okay. No, you have the next generation. You also have Yaakov and Esav. Before the limud happened. Before the limud. There's plenty of other cases. All right. Zog to Gemara. Vayisuru Shama. So we're talking about Yonason. We had him yesterday. Yonason was in charge of the Avodah Zarah of Micha. He was looking for a good job, a good paying job. He didn't believe in Avodah Zarah at all. But this, because of money, he was so money hungry that he became in charge of Avodah Zarah. So later on, Shevet Dan, they found out what a great Avodah Zarah he is. So they tried to steal him and bring him to there. You see, there's a big issue with Avodah Zarah back in the day. Baruch Hashem, we don't have it. Micha's Avodah Zarah. They what?
They took Micha's
Pesach,
and then they made him come with them.
The kids are, yeah. So Don tells Yaina's son, we need you. We need you with the Avodah Zarah. They stole the Avodah Zarah, we need you over there. But they tell him, Mi heviyacha haloim. They told him three lashonos. Who brought you here? Haloim. What are you doing with this? What are you doing here? What were they telling him? You're a descendant of Moshe Rabbeinu. You're grandchild of Moshe. You're not embarrassed. The Chsiv Bey, it says about Moshe Rabbeinu, Al Tikra V'Aloim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu from the sneh, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, don't come close to the sneh. And you, there's a few generations later, you're doing Avodah Zarah. Moshe calls the Chsiv Bey, the famous mata, what's in your hand, it became a snake. This is your grandfather, and you are doing Avodah Zarah. You, Moshe Rabbeinu, stand here with me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe, stand with me. You're going to be a priest for Avodah Zarah, or in charge of Avodah Zarah. Have a tradition. You have to be careful how you tell something to somebody. He has a tradition. What's his tradition? It's better not to take donations from people. Hire yourself out to Avodah Zarah. You shouldn't need to come on to people. You should work for Avodah Zarah. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu told me. I got this from Moshe Rabbeinu. It's better to work for Avodah Zarah than to come on to people. Like the famous Maisa, a guy taught his kid how to schnar. He said, I want to teach you how to schnar so you don't have to come on to people. Yeah? It's so good, it's old. It's a serious parnasa. He misunderstood what Moshe Rabbeinu said. He thought, literally, you should work for Avodah Zarah. No, chas v'shalom. V'loi, el avodah zarah, a work that's zar, that's foreign to him. Avodah shezar, that's below him, beneath his dignity. The Kamar lei Rav Rav Kahana. Netoish nevelta be'shuka u'shkoil agra. You should skin an animal in public and take money for it. And don't say, Gavra Rabbana, I'm a great person. Milsa. I think this is very negat to our generation. There's a saying that people used to, how do you say parnasa in English? They used to make a living. Yeah, people used to make a living with dignity. And today, because of dignity, they don't make a living. Or Rabbi Yisrael Salanter said that, what was the lashon? Hold on, I wrote it down. Oh, nobody dies from starvation. They die from gaiva. So the point is that occasionally a person finds himself without a job, without a parnasa, but there are jobs out there that he can make a good living. And here, like in this, I'm not the only Rosh Hashiva, he says, that has to be a garbage man. Baruch Hashem, these are the guys that lost their job when those are the three guys that did the evaluation in the field, because they didn't, I'm assuming that's what Yoshi meant there. They didn't do that good of a job, or they messed up on the evaluation, they had to find another job. The point is that there's usually a job available. A guy came to me and said, Imam, she doesn't have what to eat. He doesn't have a job. So I said, I have a great idea for you. You're not going to like it, but I have a great idea for you. I think I mentioned this a while back. I said, it happens to be my wife is looking for a good cleaning lady. You're a cleaning man. Today, the going rate here, the cleaning ladies make more money than regular people. They make 60, 70 shekel an hour, which is considered very, very nice here in Eretz Yisrael. I said, are you willing to clean somebody's house, do sponging? He said, absolutely not. I said, but you're starving. You don't have what to eat. I said, but think about it. Maybe you'll do it. You'll do it for a few weeks, a month, and then you'll get somebody to work with you, and then you'll hire another guy, because you'll build a whole company. You'll be, make a whole thing out of it. There's a shortage here in this community. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Lamaisi was working in a makola for like literally 25 shekel an hour. He refused to do that. I don't understand. Okay, I shouldn't get to his madre, but I'm allowed to say, because I worked mamish below. I told you I dug a ditch in my in-laws' house. I used to work with my hands for years. I wanted to learn the real estate business from bottom. I was bizyonis. Sometimes you have to be bizyonis. And I have to say this, I have to be Mivayishim. I think he gave me Rishus once, I'm going to be Mivayishim. When I moved here to this community, one of the guys that, when I ask questions here in the shir, he's one of the first ones to answer just recently. Reb Dovid Steiner, you asking I could say it?
You said it many times.
I said it many times, I'll say it again. When I moved there, he's sitting right over here. You can notice his muscles. I'll tell you why in a second. I went over to him, I asked him, I said, what's pshat that you sweep the floors here in the street? Because this street right over here, right in front of the Beis Medrash, is private. It's not owned by the city. So there's a Vara Bayit, and they got together and they hired him back in the day. I don't know, this must have been like 8-10 years ago. So he said, I'll tell you, first of all, I listened to Torah, and he did. He had his earphone, he's always listening to Torah. I'm cleaning Eretz Yisrael, I'm working out, and I'm making a parnasa. The guy's buff, he's big into... So it was it's below his dignity. That's not below his dignity, he didn't care. Once in a while, he'd bring his son, and they would do it together. Yeah? It's not a problem. If a guy needs a parnasa, a guy needs this, and it helps, why not? Emes. And it happens to be that there's, like I just showed you a picture of a guy working on the crane. In Borough Park, you see it all the time. You see Hasidic guys driving buses, driving trucks, whatever it takes to make a parnasa. Don't say that it's below your dignity. Okay. And this, I have to say, this Hasidim in the room, so I'm allowing myself to say it. I heard this from a Chassid. Emes. Heard it from a Chassid. A guy got a job as a mashbak, as the gabbai of one of these very small rebbes. The rebbe didn't have, maybe he had one chassid. So the guy asked him. He says, when you take off my fur coat, when you take it off for me, does it sometimes hurt you? Inside deep. So the rebbe was thinking that he's going to say, no chas v'sholem, it's mamish covered for me. So the guy says, no. What do you mean? It says in the Gemara. Nitosh neveilasa b'shuka, undo the nevela in the middle of the marketplace. The shkol agrin, take money. Okay. Zok the Gemara, v'leitema gaver rabban of zila b'milsa.
Perfect after Yom Kippur joke.
I'm trying to build up the Hasidim in the shir, I'm sure they mamish appreciate. Shlomi, did you appreciate that one? Shlomi's good? Because they know what I'm talking about. Not my Rebbe. I'm talking about the faker, that fake guy that nobody goes to his minyan. Yeah, that guy. No, I'm saying I saw this guy, 30 years old, healthy like an ox. There's a guy standing behind him, pulling the chair out, pulling them down. He can't move his own chair. He hired a guy. Nobody comes to his shtibel. Lamaisi has a guy that pulls his chair in, pulls his chair out, undoes his jacket. You know exactly. He can't even do this thing. The guy does it for him. Whatever. Okay. Weiter. Zog the Gemara. Oh. I have no idea where we are. Oh. Says this guy was a money-hungry mishugana. Kivin shara Dovid shemamin chaviv alav v'yoser. When Dovid HaMelech saw that he loves money, mino ala eitros. It would seem like a terrible idea. No, somebody that loves money to put him in charge of the bank. But you see a lot of times, like the FBI, when they want to figure out how people steal cars or rob homes or get into, they take guys. They take hackers. How do you hack?
Frank Abagnale. Catch me if you can. Frank Abagnale, the guy that
Frank
hired him.
Yeah.
Hired him.
Yeah.
To try to get into criminals' minds.
Right. Las Vegas, the guys that cheat the system, the FBI, when they catch them, they do the deal. Teach us how you do it. Could be that David HaMelech said, listen, let me get the guy that's has a shtickle problem, but he knows how to overcome other people's problems, and made him in charge of the treasury. Shenemar u'shvuel ben Gershom ben Menashe nogid ala oitzros v'chishvuel shemoy v'ala Yonasan shemoy. What's going on here? His name is Yonasan, not Shvuel. Omer Rabbi Yochanan sheshav la'el b'chol liboy. He came back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with his entire heart. Mamish Motzei Yom Kippur. He did tshuva, real tshuva. There's nothing like, giving an alcoholic a bottle of liquor and he doesn't drink from it. He gave him the whole thing and he didn't touch it. He was about tshuva. So you have to see the Rashbam over here. I have it, if you don't have it, we blew it up here. very important Rashbam. So Rashbam says, V'herech yomim, on top, V'herech yomim. Why does Rashbam say that he lived very long? Because think about it. If he was Moshe Rabbeinu's grandchild, how in the world did he work for Dovid HaMelech? So he must have been a very old man, and he had arichas yomim. So over here, the Rashbam teaches us that Yehona's son hated Avodah Zarah. Shaloi. People would bring him large animals and say, "Hey, bring this to your Avodah Zarah and make sure that it works." And he, it doesn't do anything. My Avodah Zarah can't do anything. It's a joke. My Avodah can't eat, can't drink, can't even go to the bathroom. Garnished. So what should I do? Bring me a bunch of eggs. Bring me some flour. I'll daven. And then and when the guy left, he ate it himself. He made fun of the Avodah Zarah. But that was his mistake. He thought that if he makes fun of Avodah Zarah, he doesn't believe in it, it's okay to work for it. As long as you don't do it yourself. Oh, yeah. So at the end, what happened was, even though he did tshuva, Shlomo Melech, when he became the king, a new slate, he started fresh, new managers, new CEOs, everything. So he got rid of him. He didn't realize that his father put him in there for a good reason, that he shouldn't do Avodah Zarah. As soon as he didn't have a job for 1 minute, Leilui, Shem Yirachem, he was doing great. He did complete tshuva, sheshav lekel b'chol libay, with his entire heart. Then he went back. He became a Russia again. There was a Jew that went to the priest and he says, "Listen, let's have a great business deal. But you have to promise me you keep it as like, okay, fine. What?" He says, "Go to your congregation, tell them that you dreamt that Yashka himself came to you and said that whoever drinks from the Jews' well, whatever disease they have, anything, you're going to see Yeshuas and Refuas. I'll charge good money and we'll split 50-50. This guy says, "Oh, what did the guy do?" So he comes Sunday morning, he claps on the beam over there. He says, "Rabbi Isai, I just had a cholim. If you go to the Jew, you have Yeshuas." Kids of people are lining up and the guy's taking from his well, charges $100 a cup. The people are drinking, and he splits 50-50 with the priest. Gets one chacham comes one day. He says, "Listen, I'm willing to give you $100,000 for the cup, but you have to bring me. I need at least 2 people that you could show me that there was a nace that happened over here. There was a Yeshua and a refuah." He says, 2 people? Okay, me and the priest. This is what the Rashbam says. That's what he did. He sat there. He pretended he's doing Avodah Zarah. People gave him the eggs and this, and he ate it himself. It was just a business. That's all it was. But also to do it, huh? Nobody caught on. People are foolish. This is how it is. Listen, the priest said he dreamt it. It has to be true. So now we're going to see a few sources. How do we know that a son? We know. Today, la halacha, if a person has a son and a daughter, who gets the Yerusha? Halachically, the son. How do we know? They're both brought in the pasuk, right? It says if you don't have a son, you give to the daughter. But the habanim esav minalan. Now it happens to be, it's very interesting. The Rashbam brings that la halacha, the daughter gets 10%. Okay, but how do you know that she doesn't get mikra Yerusha? Ish kiyamus. Here's the pasuk. Oops. Ish kiyamus uveineinloi. And he doesn't have a son. If he doesn't have a son, great. So it says Mefurish in the pasuk l'chayra. The first comes a son, and then comes a daughter. Maybe the pshat is ben leirus ben. Maybe the pshat in the pasuk is if there's a son by himself, he should have Yerusha. Ikebas teirus bas. And if she's by herself, she should have Yerusha. Ikebenu bas loy hay veloy lahay leirus. And if there's 2 of them, neither of them should have a Yerusha, which makes no sense. Which the Gemara is going to explain in a second. The Gemara asks your question. Velo man leiros daf kuf yud Amud Beis. Who? Okay. They shouldn't. And who should? What? The ruler of the city should have a Yerusha? It doesn't make any sense. It's very possible. I was thinking to myself, today in America, I don't know how it is all over the world, if a person doesn't leave a will, or in certain situations, the government takes the Yerusha. It's possible they read this Gemara, like a bunch of Amaratzim, didn't go to Daf Yomi. I don't know. It says Mefurish in the Gemara. In the Talmud, it says that the city gets the Yerusha. There's such a Havamina. That's not your job, Tzaddik. No, it's not your job. Your job is to scream out Yalavi Avai, all that stuff. But even that's not your job. Yeah, but halachically, it's not a good idea. Says the Gemara. Ike ben Ubas, you're so excited. I was wondering why you got up from over there and went to that seat over there. The whole shit. Listen, okay, it's your job. Could you repeat what we just said until there, or are you thinking the whole time about how to say it? He's thinking about it. Okay. The guy that sits there has to know what's flying here. Okay, this is what I meant. Don't. I wasn't serious about it. Not like that they shouldn't have a Yerusha at all. That makes no sense. Son and daughter shouldn't have a Yerusha. All I meant is they should split it 50-50. Just sticking the word kulei. They should be equals. Why shouldn't they be equals? That's what people today would say. Son and daughter should be equals. According to you, Rapapa, that the son and the daughter are equal, so then why do I need a pasuk that tells me that if there's no son, then the daughter gets it? We just said the son and the daughter are 50-50. If both of them are alive, the guy dies and he has a son and a daughter, each one gets 50%. Oh, guess what? If there's no son, she gets 100%. Of course. Even if there's a son, she gets 50%. So if there's no son, of course she should get the whole Yerusha. Who else should get it? Why do I need a pasuk for that? Maybe no. The bas nami bas Yerushi. I need this pasuk to tell me this halacha, this gufa that a daughter is part of the Yerusha. Maybe I wouldn't know that. He says, well, no, I don't need a pasuk for that. Call bas Yereshes nachlo nafka. In the parsha of the daughters of Slavchad came to Moshe Rabbeinu. What should we do? We don't have it there. The whole bas Yereshes nachla. Every daughter gets a nachla. The bottom line is we have a pasuk here that says this pasuk over here. We see that a son comes before a daughter. Rav Yaakov says I have another source. Again, this is Bnei Slavchad. They came to Moshe Rabbeinu and said, why should our father be worse off than everybody else? Because he doesn't have a son. So the Gemara understands that they understood that's because, why is he worse off? Because he doesn't have a son. They understood that if they had a brother, then their father's Slavchad's Yerusha would go to the brother. Their only taina was that why shouldn't they get anything? Zero. In other words, they understood that the son comes before the daughter. It's only because there's no son, but if there's a son, they would be happy. He would get the Yerusha, and they not. So the Gemara, maybe that was their taina that in the beginning, before there was any halachas of Yerusha. But later on, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, okay, they're right. So the Kain Doibra is Bnei Slavchad, whatever the lashon is, that they are correct, but we have to make new halachas here. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah now after Bnei Slavchad and gave new rules. And one of the rules would be that a daughter inherits with the son 50-50. The Bnei Slavchad thought that only a son. And when they came to Taina HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem changed the rules that if there's no sons, the daughter. But now it's 50-50. Maybe Hashem changed everything all the way that it's 50-50. No. 50-50. Ella machvarta kideshanina mi kara. We're talking about in the Havamina. How do you know? So the Gemara says Ella machvarta kideshanina mi kara. So we're going to go back to the original pasuk of Ubein Eloi. This pasuk. Okay, so that's not a good right. Rabbi Noam Mahacha. What? Oh, sponsors. Yeah, we got to do sponsors. How come nobody reminded me?
I was afraid of you. Afraid what? Who knows what's going to happen?
Sponsored by the Belsky family in memory of Simcha Berel, Dovid Allah Shalom Ben Avraham Moshe, and Kidnovations LLC, and honor my uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman official should be zchusim for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga. A shidduch for Rivka Yehudis Bas Yafachaya, and thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky for selflessly giving up her husband for the clout. Should be zchusim for a year filled with mazel, bracha, and slocha, parnasa, berevach, and refuah. I want to tell you, I was at a simcha the other day, mamish before Yom Kippur, and a mashgiach of a very, very famous yeshiva here in Eretz Yisrael came over to me and said, I want you to know that I do your shir every single day. Every single day. So I said, I don't understand. If you do it every day, you know what zchusim you can have? Here, let me take a video of you. He was busy, I'm not kidding, he was busy making sure that nobody heard him telling me that he does the shir every day. He told me that he called up Benny Rodnick to tell him this. So Benny's the aide. Benny told me, yeah, he did call him. And he tells Benny, anytime he's missing or whatever, he calls him, he says, where were you? He says, I come home, the first thing I do when I come to yeshiva, I go to the computer, I tell everybody away from my computer, do the shir. It's mamish chaval. So I'm shouting out to any mashgiach, rosh yeshiva, chashav guy that wants to be mzaked oil. I know it's going to hurt your shidduchim. I know you're going to lose your job, but you got to do what's right. Take a video, be mechazik da'olam. Do things. What do you think? Everything I do, I feel comfortable. You think I get on a line, I'm happy, I want to do it. Whatever, you do it for Torah, whatever it takes, right? Nothing, right? There's things that you know I'm not always comfortable with what I do. I don't know, never. Some things it's for Klal Yisrael.
Hosted sukkah just for clients.
It's going to help his parnasa. Reb Dovid, it's going to help his parnasa.
When you have
oh, get over here, Dami, get over here. I'm going to come to you. What do you say? What was your pshat?
Do it for parnasa. So to b'shuka, right? So to kalvechom, have to do it.
Unbelievable. He says if you're going to do it for parnasa, you have to invite yourself and skin an animal in the middle of the marketplace. Be a garbage man. So to bring Klal Yisrael to Torah, it cannot hurt your kid shidduchim. Tzaddik, whoever you are listening, any Rosh Shiva. There was a big Rosh Shiva from Lakewood that told us, not me personally, told Doilam and Sanal Gans and all these guys. They watch us every single day. So Sassim, so make a video. Are you crazy? I'll have to shut down my yeshiva. Do it. Laman de Klal. Halavai, one day somebody will have enough courage and do it. Okay, Zakti Gemara. Ravina Amahacha. HaTorah Ve'elav. Oh, did I finish the sponsors? Yeah, I spent. It goes by who's closer to the dead person. Who's closer, a son or a daughter? Why would you say that? Male chauvinists. So the Gemara understands in the beginning that maybe the son is closer. Can't just say he's closer. We have to bring a raya from the Torah. How? In what way? What does a son do that a daughter can't do? So we said the other day, there's two things. Yud, and what else? Zechuzah. In what way is a son closer to a father than his daughter? If you want to remember, I'll just show the thing here. A master gets a Amma Ivriya, she's a Jewish girl, and he can marry her even without giving her Kesek Yedushin with the original money. And a daughter, a son does the same thing. He can marry his father's Amma Ivriya without giving Kesek Yedushin with the money that his father gave. 3 years ago, he could also marry her. No, and a daughter can't. So what's the achuza? Huh? You start with your kids and then we'll talk. What are you just enjoying me shtucking him? You're out of this. It's a whole new page. Avi, it's all new. It's a whole new year. Givaldi. Okay, so all these guys, these new guys that are here today, they don't realize you're seeing things that you never get to see. This is cut out afterwards. All the stuff. Including the first 10 minutes. Shekain come down. I just remembered after davening, you have to sit there for 10 minutes and do all the emails. Shekain kom tachas soviv liyadu zeh chuzah. I'm just going to ask Avi to stick around, you and Avi, so we can go back and forth. Shekain kom tachas soviv liyadu zeh chuzah. What's the chuzah again? A person gets a field from Yeshua ben Nun, his shear in Eretz Yisrael, and he donates it to the Beis Hamikdash. So, if a stranger comes and redeems it from the Beis Hamikdash, when Yovel comes, it goes to the Kohanim. But if you, the owner, who donated it to the Beis Hamikdash, he redeems it for a shekel and a pudyan per year, however many years are left, if he redeems it, he gets to keep it. Not only that, but even his son, if his son redeems it, it also goes back to the father, and by Yovel, it doesn't go to the Kohanim. Says Gemara, these two things are not good. Why? Yada, to do Yud, like we see over here, the case of Yud, Lav Bas Yadahi, says the Rashbam. The Rashbam knew this. Unfortunately, today's generation doesn't know this, but it says in the Rashbam, a woman cannot marry a woman. It just doesn't work. It's a technical thing. Maybe she could do Yud. She should be able to marry the It's just not possible. So it doesn't mean she's worse than the brother. So they're on the same level as the brother. She just can't marry her. And also the fact that you're telling me that a brother can redeem a zchusim and it goes to the father, and the daughter can't do that. How do we even know this? We mentioned this the other day. It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah that the son can redeem a zchusim for the father, but we learned that there's an option. It's either the brother of the father or the son of the father. And we said it's the son. It's because the son gets rid of the yibum problem for his father. If his father had one son, then when he dies, the father dies, then his wife, the almana, doesn't have yibum. But guess what? If the father has a daughter, there's also no yibum. So they're on the same footing, the son and the daughter are on the same level. Again, how do we know that Zdei Achuzah goes to the son? Because a son is more powerful than an uncle, a brother, because he patters the father, the mother from Yibum. But the same, and therefore I know Zdei Achuzah, and at the end it happens to be that Zdei Achuzah only goes to the son. Only when a son redeems it, it goes to the father, not when a daughter redeems it. The Rashbam talks about it, that's the Maskanas HaSugya, but we didn't know yet in what position of Yerusha they are, says the Rashbam. Therefore, at this point, the son and the daughter are on the same footing. Ella, says Gemara, okay, this is not a great raya to show who comes first. You wanted to say that the son has more kurva to the father, he's more related, he's closer to the father. Not true. They're both the same. So how do I know that the son comes before the daughter when it comes to Yerusha? I have to go back to the original pasuk. That pasuk. If you have a non-Jewish slave, so it goes, Yerusha livnechem. So Nachla goes le-vnechem. B'nechem v'le-b'neseichem. We learn from here, Nachla goes to the sons and not to the daughters. Elameato, leman yirbu yemechem v'mei v'nechem. We say in Kriya Shema, your days shall be many. Who? Only your sons. Only the sons deserve a bracha. Hachanami b'nechem v'le-b'neseichem. La bracha shani. When it comes to bracha, obviously the Torah wants the boys and the girls. When it comes to halacha, it's only the boys. Let me see if I missed. It seems like I missed something here, no? Oh, I did. I missed the Givaldic picture. I was in the wrong spot. It's just like when you go on a shidduch, you have to check the brother. She's trying to tell the guy that her brother is a very nice guy. But let me see what he looks like over here. Okay. I worked on myself on Yom Kippur. You can tell. Yeah, it is great. It's beautiful. Asya, I'll tell Yoshi that you enjoyed it. How do you know that? Oh, so let's go back to this. Guys, remember, there was parents that had a son. B'kitzur, there's a son in the center who shares a brother from a father and a brother from a mother. and the son in the middle, the brother in the middle, he dies. So the Yerusha goes only one way, to his brother from a father, and not to the brother from the mother. Okay. How do we know this? I learn a Gzeirah Shava. Gzeirah Shava is a powerful limud that only HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives Moshe Rabbeinu. Chachamim don't make this Gzeirah Shava up. Here's the pasuk. It says, "Bayas v'im ein loy bas u'nosad mizachlasei le'achav." It says brothers, but it says by the Shvatim hayom mishneim asar avodecha achim. Now we know the Shvatim only shared a father, not a mother. There's 4 mothers involved, so but they're still called achim. So you see that a brother is from a father, not from a mother. That's the Gemara. Why didn't Gzeir Shava? This is the limud we just learned. That the mishpacha from the father's side is considered a mishpacha. I already know this, that a mishpacha from the father's side is mishpacha and not from the mother's side. You're right. It's much interesting. You're right. But at the end of the day, we have a Gzeir Shava. Gzeir Shava is not something Chacham made up. It already existed, the Gzeir Shava. Here, there's another pasuk on the bottom. He's talking about Yibum. So we learn that in order to perform Yibum, you have to be a brother from a father and not a brother from a mother. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.